Now let's talk about a lot of these situational based questions, which is very peculiar and very common in all our Symbiosis, IIMs, especially CAP and IMTs and NMIMS interviews. In fact, all the college interviews have a lot of questions which talk about your situational based questions. Okay, so let's talk about the first set of situational based questions. I'm going to be talking about what and how to approach these questions, and also at the same time what is the panelist actually looking forward to while asking you such questions. Okay, so if I look at the first one, it's like very simple, checking your presence of mind, that 10 coins are tossed in air, what is the probability of getting 5 heads? Okay, this is actually a very easy question which is based on your concept of probability. It's just quickly testing your analytical skills, and are you able to on the go use your brains quickly on pen and paper, calculate it and give me an answer. In fact, a lot of people in today's NMIMS interviews have been asked probability based questions, right? So this is something which is very easy for you to visualize and talk about it. The objective is to see your analytical skills. The same way, if I can do is I can also look at questions like, where we are testing your analytical thinking, is also seen in my questions where I'm talking about solving a puzzle, where we are given different points and you're asked to join all the points with a straight line without lifting the pen. Again, testing your analytical thinking. 12 people on a ship have nothing to eat. It is decided that 6 would die and 6 would eat. On which side will you be? So here I'm thinking your presence of mind. Obviously, you're going to look at, being on the side which is surviving, but you have to give me good reasons to survive. Good reasons, what can you bring to the table, right? Then I can cross question you, why not the other one? Why not, give them a chance to live or give them a chance to anything? So that is something which you have to keep in mind. All right, then also from the perspective of maths, we get these questions of, can you draw the graph of spin shot on the axis? Okay, so mathematical graphs are also very important, which you have to keep in mind. Okay, so this is what you have to look forward to. Great. Now, some very simple situation questions which are coming across everybody, like selling a pen is very common these days. Look at the last two questions out here. The second last one is, it says, compare the cars which you own. Let's assume you are someone who's taken a Santro and a Desire. So, what will you talk about? Think of this. If I'm giving you guys this question, what would you all answer? Compare the cars you own. You have 30 seconds to give this answer, right? So what we are testing, okay, so if I have to give an answer, I can talk about the color of the cars. I can talk about one of them being a hatchback, one of them being a sedan. You can talk about the features of the cars, right? Like what kind of facilities are provided, those aspects of it, which will help you to make sure and understand your ability to think on the spot. It's like an impromptu question which is asked to all of you, right? Then yes, we can talk about the resale value, you can talk about the pricing strategy, we can also talk about whether the car is petrol based or diesel based, all of these aspects. Then if you have, you can also bring in certain aspects of a personal touch with some emotional attributes. Like for example, you can say like Santro was the first car we actually bought, so it has got sentimental value to it. What I'm doing is, instead of making it a very technical question, I am trying to personalize it to myself, which is what you should be doing. Whenever you are talking about questions which are there, try to bring yourself and relate to it so that the panelists can also feel that yes, the student is able to relate and empathize with this question. Like, Santro was the first car we owned, or Desire was the car where for the first time we went for a long, a road trip. So, some kind of emotional attachment towards it, and all of those aspects can also be brought into picture. I hope all of you guys are with me. Yes. Great. Now, very interesting, the last question which is there is, describe 5 uses of a stapler other than the normal reason. Okay, just letting you know, normal reason for a stapler is used to staple papers, right? What can be the other reasons? You guys tell me what comes to your mind. As a hammer, okay, paperweight, remove staples also a normal use of it, okay? Paperweight, good example, to remove a nail in the wall, okay? Instant stitching, interesting thinking. Button of a शर्ट, स्टेपलर को बटन ऑफ अ शर्ट कैसे यूज करोगे यार, इट विल हर्ट यू इफ यू आर वेयरिंग इट. Okay, paperweight is done. Okay, what else? A bottle opener. Okay, your sandal broke, you used a stapler to keep it there. Very good, interesting. As a background in a movie editing, interesting, nice. A screwdriver. Okay, Tarun threatening people, मतलब इतने negative thoughts मत लेके आओ guys कि people start thinking ये बहुत ही aggressively violent people. No, 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 keep very nice creative things. Yeah, shirt button broke, so you stapled your shirt. ठीक है, that's instant stitching and instant fixes out there. ए टाइम पास आवाज करने, बेटा ऐसे आंसर्स दोगे तो आप फॉर श्योर रिजेक्ट होने वाले हो इंटरव्यू में. सो डू नॉट गिव आंसर्स विच हेल्प यू टू make their life easy by simply rejecting you out. Think like a manager always. Be creative. All right, so keep that in mind. Yes, I can use it as a roller. So if I have to summarize from all of the things which you all have picked up, 5 good reasons I've got is, it can be used as a showpiece by painting it up well. I can use it as a background in my videos and editing which is there. Used as a paperweight, used for instant stitching and fixes, and also which can be used for removing nails and an bottle opener, right? So interesting, this is all to test on the spot thinking and do you have a creative bent of mind. If you guys know, there is this concept of using your right brain and left brain, so we always try to encourage you guys to start using and building up your creative bent of mind. Charu, very good, interesting, to make music, I can make music out of it, right? So all of these things, so I can ask you similar questions to other ways as well. Like for example, I was actually asked in my interview to what could be the ways or different ways you can sell a empty glass. Okay, so it's a glass, a drinking water glass kept on the table, we should be offline, right? So pick that up, empty glass, and he's like, tell me how can you sell this with the utility of not being used for drinking water, right? So that's how we come up with creative ideas, like a paperweight, flower pot, showpiece, easiest way for all of us to decorate it, a pen stand, making circles, making design, again making music out of it, and candle stand, all of these things. So you get the objective, right? We are trying to make use of creative aspects. All right, so this is one set of questions. Moving on to the next set of questions. Okay, the first set of questions were where I'm trying to look at your analytical thinking and your creative thinking, right? So we are trying to induce you to start thinking in a different way. Now, the next set of situational questions which are there, these are somewhere kind of, a little bit of retrospection where you are made to think more about your own self in various situations. This is like a role play situation based questions. Okay, so for example, the first one, gaming is an addiction and not a hobby. What's your take on it? Right? Maybe you are a person who genuinely is a gaming addict. Maybe you are someone who hates gaming, right? It depends totally on you, but you will have to give an opinion, give a stance onto it, right? So if for example some of you guys are saying addiction, but if you take addiction in a negative way, like addiction is a waste of time, then it's not good. But if you were able to justify, that is important, right? So you have to choose, whichever you choose, an addiction or a hobby, justify it in a positive way, Remember, you have to always be optimistic. So if you take it as a hobby, tell me why. There are a lot of good reasons out to it. It makes you to enhance your detailing, like your attention to detail increases by being very observant in all of those gaming. Your reflex actions are good. It increases your focus and concentration, a stress release which is definitely there. Your reflexes definitely are enhanced. It also kind of makes you be ready for something which is not prepared, impromptu activities. And at the same time, it makes you relax, ease out, a stress buster, chill out, and all of those aspects as well, right? So I can say that. Then again, I can say, if I'm saying an addiction, that can also be a negative thing. But at the same time, if I say it's an addiction to probably switch over to gaming if I am overstressed, or if I am someone who is anger management or something like this, I can also do that, right? So that's a very nice way. Anant, very bad example, lets you kill people without crime. Arey, hidden feelings don't bring it out that you want to go and kill people out there. Okay, all your dark side of your people, your in whatever dark side you have to yourself, everybody has that black swan within you. Okay, so keep that to yourself, not for your panelists. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. Okay, now let's move to the next set of few questions on the same lines. Second one is talking about an example when you felt compassionate. So this is looking at, do you feel compassionate, right? When you help someone poor, need not be someone who's on the streets or something. Maybe something you did, a smallish thing which made someone smile for one time, right? So those kind of situations. So that's something which is very important. Now the third question is a very very tricky question. This is like a double edged sword. Why? Because here I'm asking you, state instances where you witnessed corruption. Now, here, when I'm talking about witnessing corruption, I will definitely ask you a follow up question. Were you a part of the corruption? Did you encourage that? If you did, why? And then I will grill you on your moral values and ethics. So you have to always keep in mind is कि sometimes you would have given bribe and everything, but तुम जाके ऐसे मत बोलना कि I was like the saint and everything. You can witness corruption. People have cross signals and all of those things. People, you witnessed corruption when people travel ticketless in trains, right? So those kind of situations where you can mention about it, but they should be not very grave that put you in the dark spot ki you are someone who has been a part and parcel of this corruption. Yes, you can say that corruption which was there in college politics and everything, you can give those examples which you have experienced. All right. The next set of questions are again about giving situational examples where you have various different kind of, now this is again trying to reflect on different traits or your personality aspects, right? We spoke about compassion, we spoke about gaming, corruption, which is testing your ethics and morals. I'm looking at situations where you have thought out of the box, somewhere you set a goal for yourself and you achieved it. So these are all kind of testing your personality. I hope you guys are getting me. This is what we spoke about, your examples and evaluations. Absolutely, Shruti, you can give that example of losing weight. Anything. Goals can be losing weight, it could be achieving certain marks in a particular exam, it could also be getting a little, if you are into sports or something, or crossing a benchmark. Like for example, if you were on a you're a person who walks every day, was walking 5 kilometers and now has made it 6 kilometers as well, that's also a goal, right? You could have a goal to learn something new. Like you thought in this lockdown you will be, your goal was to try and learn 3 new skills and you did that, right? So the goal can be anything from personal to professional, but you talk about you set and you achieved. So when you will say here, you will also talk about what made you achieve, because that is reflecting on the kind of a person you are. ठीक है? Losing weight, like for example, the first question you all asked me, it should reflect that you set in a goal, you worked hard towards the goal, so you are focused, you are determined, you did not give in to various other cravings or distractions which come on board. So that is important. All right. So all the retrospection based questions have to be somewhere where you talk about positive sides of it. Okay, so this is what you are going to keep in mind. Similarly, if I look at the retrospection based questions, we also have scale yourself on 1 to 10 and where are you on intelligence, street smartness, fooling others, hardworking, four different aspects and where we are talking about it. ठीक है, चेतन बेटा अगर नहीं लूज किया है तो आपने वो गोल अचीव ही नहीं किया ना, तो वो आएगा ही नहीं. So you have to talk about setting a goal and achieving it. I'm not asking you all to make everybody else focus and feel good or bad about you losing weight or not losing weight. ठीक है, that was one example which was given by Shruti, so we picked that up. All right. Very interesting question which I really like is the second last one, which is what is the definition for you for health, wealth, and happiness? हो गया weight loss, weight gain खत्म, guys. Come on, let's get back to track. Health, wealth, and happiness. How do you define for you yourself? Okay, it's family, pillars for good life. I'll come back to it. Satisfaction, mental peace. Very good. How will you differentiate all of these things? Sound sleep at night is what gives you happiness. Okay. Health is a necessity. Okay. What else? If you were to differentiate between health, wealth, and happiness, health is most important, then happiness, and third is wealth. Very good. That's a very nice way to put forward, you know. So, very nicely spoken about. Health is the need. Okay. Happiness should be your target or your goal. And when you have both of these in place, wealth comes in play. Wealth will come on its own, right? So this is what you have to keep in mind. A healthy and a happy balanced life makes you achieve the goal of wealthness which is there, right? So that's what you are trying to bring into picture. So it's a not philosophy question, but it's trying to understand your mental thought process for coming to an MBA, because it shouldn't be that you are here just for the money, right? So that's something which is very interesting. The last one where we spoke about ethics and targets, definitely we have to keep in mind ethics over everything else, but you should have a justification towards it and giving it. It doesn't mean to be ethical, I will make my targets go for a toss. I'd probably work a little extra so that I don't have to compromise on my ethics, but the target focus will not move, right? So keep that in mind. Okay, since one of you guys asked me to talk about the scaling aspect again, once again, so very interesting. Okay, so it's like asking you on a scale of 1 to 10, rank yourself on intelligence. So in terms of intelligence, how intelligent are you? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. So you give yourself some rank and then you give a justification. Like for example, I can say, I think I am 7 or an 8. Why? Because I was able to score well throughout my academics. I was able to perform well in my, work experience and my internships and crack the exams, and I'm sitting out here, right? And why not 10 on 10? Because I think there's a scope of learning always there. So that's something which you have to talk about it. Okay. Second is street smartness. Now, what do I mean by street smartness? Street smartness is all about your on the spot thinking. Like, how do you react to various situations? All the situation based questions are actually testing your street smartness, which is practical execution of things. Okay? So it's not talking about only theoretical knowledge. There are a lot of people who know a lot of theory, but they cannot put that to use. So street smartness comes through practical experience, right? Third one is fooling others. Isme you should be on the lower side. Okay? Your job is not to sit and dupe people out here. So we talk about the lower side, right? So you can give in a 1 or which is there. Then the fourth one is hardworking. So what kind of a hardworking person are you? Okay. Street smartness is like, for example, if you are in situations like, you're working on a project deadline and suddenly somebody in your team has fallen sick. So what do? You can't really extend the deadline. So street smartness would be pick out that person's work and allocate it to four other people and get it done. So that's like street smartness. Or how do you address various problems which come on the day to day? Like, for example, the smallest example one of you guys gave for the stapler was your sandals broke, so you didn't know what to do, you just quickly stapled it. That's street smartness, right? Instead of cribbing and crying is called as street smartness. I hope you guys are with me. In a way, जुगाड़, yes, but a smart जुगाड़, ठीक है? Not the खराब वाला जुगाड़, ठीक है? Last set of questions for today based on our situations. Okay, now we are talking about, see, first we spoke about your analytical thinking. Second, we spoke about your retrospection based questions. Third, we are talking about your response to various questions and situations. Okay, so here we are looking at, just a simple reaction. What if I tell you your interview was at 8 p.m. or a pub at 12 in midnight? What would you do? So I'm trying to see, with asking you such an abstract question, am I putting you in an uncomfortable spot? Right? So what we can say is, it's going to be a nice atmosphere where I can, look forward to interact. So you have to showcase being optimistic, and at the same time you have to show that it did not put you in an uncomfortable spot, right? So that's very important. Then again, you are given various managerial situations to test your response, like, for example, which we spoke about, deadline, right? Third, let's talk about, let's say you are someone who is a team leader and your team is not performing and you are supposed to fire them. What would you do? How would you fire someone? Maybe that person is your best friend, but you have to fire them. So these kind of response based questions, where I'm trying to see your response to different situations. So again, before reacting, you will take a step back. You will think, if I do this, what is it reflecting it about my personality? Always take a minute for such kind of reaction based questions and then give an answer. Don't be in a haste to answer immediately, right? So you look at situations and you will always think, structure your thoughts in your mind, and then give an answer. All right, so the first three were based on that. Okay, now let's talk about, like, even in the beginning you all spoke about an extempore, which is very common coming in your cap. I think everybody's getting those extempores, even in IIM Rohtak, right? So here, these are abstract random topics. One, let's see, the first topic is the two pens in my pocket. Wow, that's like so abstract, right? So now it's all about me. What do I talk on this for a minute, right? So let me give it a thought. Okay, let me give it a little thinking, and I can say, all right, so I have two pens in my pocket, one which is a black pen and the second one which is a red pen. So what I do is, everyday things which I'm working and I'm doing, I always write with the black pen which is there. But if there is something which is very important, which I need to, it's like a crucial situation or something which is a roadblock in my work, I end up writing it with the red so that I can highlight. It helps me to channelize and prioritize my work well. And at the same time, what it helps me to do is that, when I have free time, I can use it for doing something artistically, and two colors add a little color to my drawings which I'm doing. So what I have done out here is, I have put out various aspects, right? And the second one, I can also say after this, a third point is, well, two pens in my pocket helps me that just in case if I run into someone else who's not having a pen, I can share something. I can lend it to them, right? So all I did was an abstract topic, try to reflect on different perspectives, right? You can make it even more better by probably relating it to, yes, metaphor. You can make metaphors by relating it to your two options in life, and various philosophical thoughts as well also, that one represents me and my goals, and the second represents, what kind of alternate options do I have, and all of those things. But the objective is it should click you in that 1 minute of time when you're sitting. So instead of getting scared of extempore, keep in mind that whatever you are getting the topics, you are trying to give in 2 to 3 perspectives towards it and give a rational justification to it. That's it, right? Like, for example, I didn't use any high fundu things. I gave very three simple day to day life examples which I could relate to this, right? For this, you don't need any kind of extra knowledge. So keep that in mind. Extempore is to test your on the spot thinking. So do not get nervous or scared of it. I hope you guys understand how you all will start approaching extempore. Yes or no? Yes? Lovely. Now, the last four questions which are there are giving you opportunities to show what change and how can you bring it that about. Right? So, these are optional kind of things which are put at you. Like, for example, if I made a movie on you in 2050, what would the title of the movie be? Very interesting. I want all of you guys to think about it and tell me. Wish he was alive. Okay. Journey that never ends. Very nice. शैलेश थोड़ा अच्छा क्रिएटिव सोचो. व्हाट कोविड फिनिक्स. ओके इंटरेस्टिंग. Cause I rise from ashes. Okay. Tune into tuna. Interesting. Story of a common man. मानसी इन वंडरलैंड. ठीक है. थोड़ा सा क्रिएटिव सोचो. Reality versus expectations. Interesting. Flashback 55. Very good. Unfinished. Nice. The womankind. Lost boy journey. Be creative. Don't use something which already exists. मुझे थोड़ा अच्छा पॉजिटिव सोचो बेटा. नेगेटिव नहीं सोचना है. Hypothetical. Nice. Back into old ages. The unpolished diamond. Very nice. So this is very creative, right? So what we are trying to see is your creative bent of mind on your perspective about your own self, right? So this is something which is going to be helpful to help you showcase what you think about yourself, and can you put that thought into picture, right? So this is something which is, about these situational based questions. The last one are very simplistic ones which you can look at. If you were to change your name, what would you change and why? Then if I give you to change the budget, what would you change about the budget? Or if you were given a chance, this is an example of any company. Satyam was taken for example. We can take anything, whether it's Nokia, BlackBerry, Kingfisher, whatever it is. So it's trying to see what would you do in put in shoes of somebody else. All right. So I hope all of you guys have taken good notes, have understood, and make use of all of these situation based questions, because this is what is going to come in all your interviews. Keep one thing in mind. I'll just quickly summarize. Whenever you have situation based questions, the objective is test your on the spot thinking. Look at how can you bring in different perspectives on the same page, and also at the same time, are you able to reflect your good personality traits and impress the panelist with the same? Or you can say, Mudit, that I like my name, but if I have to change, why would it be and what would it be? All right. You can get, as guesstimate based questions, which is there in all the colleges. No hard and fast rule on that.